across the world. As we've seen, or you may not have seen, you may have just heard, UFC president Dana White was indeed filmed slapping his wife on two occasions, New Year's Eve in Cabo, Mexico. The video and apology video was very carefully manicured with the help of TMZ. Quite questionable indeed, right there in itself. He's obviously receiving lots of calls for him to be dealt with in some kind of capacity. Many are talking about him stepping down. Some people are talking about sitting him down for a period of time. Let's look at indeed his thoughts and his statements relating to domestic violence, spousal abuse, men hitting women. He said that is unacceptable and that should never take place. But indeed, he has responded with his apology that he was a bit drunk. There was drunk. It's the first time it's happened. Now, let's examine the video. In my humble opinion, it would seem that this is something that's happened not once, not twice, but this has happened before. Let's take a slightly different angle. Why on earth was Anne White, his wife, why on earth would she put him in a position to have to defend himself against her physical advances? What world are we living in where women think that it is acceptable to rain blows down on your significant other or someone you don't know? Physiologically, men and women are different. We know this. Men have strength. Not all men. There are exceptions to the rule. There are stronger women who train. There are athletes who train. And let's say Dana White's wife was indeed a professional fighter, or at least trained in the various skills within mixed martial arts, and she can hold her own. Then that's a slightly different conversation. I'm pretty sure she's not training in any kind of professional capacity apart from maybe some jogging and that kind of stuff, treadmill work, anaerobic exercise, to keep yourself fit as everyone should be doing. So that's the first thing. That's the very first thing I would like to bring forth in this conversation. She's got no right to do that. And in public as well. The embarrassment of your wife attacking you. Why on earth would she do that? Is it warranted? Dana White's mother has been interviewed multiple times and said that he's turned into, a less than desirable son, and she's not, happy with some of the things he's doing. And apparently, this is from Dana White, Brendan Sharps made implications that Mr. White be slanging that thing. Yeah, no. He was previously, let's not forget this. I mean, depending on how much digging you want to do, many people don't know that there was a blackmail scandal over an alleged sex tape. And indeed, the boyfriend of the girl alleged in the tape, then tried to sue Dana White. It has been reported, Mr. White is, he has done some excellent work in regards to creating the brand and the promotion that we see now as the UFC. You think of the UFC, straight away you think of Dana White. He's synonymous with it. Now let's look. Let's look in the sporting world in itself. I recall there was a big scandal within the NBA. Kyrie Irving posted a link to Jeff Bezos' Amazon website to a book which caused lots of scandal about anti-Semitism. Hmm. And he had to go on an apology tour. He had to spend, he was, it was it, was it 200,000? Mm-hmm. Re-education by rabbis, Jewish rabbis, and all kind of stuff. He was demonized by his fellow players, former players, of all different nations, especially for some of the black players that condemned him for posting a link. Now, people, um, this content is available. The book is available to be purchased. The DVD is available to purchase, and you can indeed stream said content. So it's quite disingenuous for people to constantly talk about an anti-Semitic when in I struggle. I struggle. There's some questions within it, a very small section within the presentation. But it wasn't about anti-Semitism. It was about something totally different. And that played maybe 3% of that whole sort of discussion. But that's a side subject. That's a side subject in regard to the actual detail. Let's get back to what happened to Kyrie Irving for posting the link. Kyrie Irving didn't box up no his wife, and that stuff on camera. Now let's get it. Let's be real. It wasn't no, he wasn't like trying to take a head off or anything like that. These wasn't big heavy blows, raining blows down. Um, at the Hall of Fame induction, Mr. Bones, one of the most talented and gifted athletes to grace the UFC, outside of the cage, the octagon. This dude has got some issues. Hall of Fame, police were called to his room where his wife was bloodied nose, or blood on her stuff, this and that, fat lip, or whatever the hell. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Eh, And we've had nothing. We've had nothing in the way outside of Dana White saying he apologizes, the statement from his wife. This has never happened before. We were both drunk, etc., etc. Yeah, no, come on. Endeavor, who owned the UFC, no statements. Go, you know, have you got any statements? You go on your website. Oh, go to the UFC for a statement. You go to the UFC, there's no statements. This is a huge black eye again for the UFC. Didn't haven't sort of ended the year very well and started the year very well in regards to publicity. We've got the James Krause situation, fixed potential rigged fights and betting anomalies, Canada withdrawing all bets from fights on UFC events. I mean, like, what's going on? And then the new year comes in and he's slapping folk, he's slapping his wife after his wife slaps him. Hmm? Okay. Yeah. This guy is Abu Wagadan, 500 milli. Okay, this is the kind of money that Mr. Dana White's playing with. He's crazily come up with some power slap league or whatever. Dun, dun, dun. I don't see many people within the MMA media actually really co-signing this craziness. Apparently, it's all been filmed. It's going to be on TBS. It was supposed to be released at some point, like real soon, because nothing but advertisements on there. I had an exchange with one of the promoters of this uh hobby, I guess. They're trying to legitimize it into a sport. He even had a press conference for it. It's absolutely diabolical. It's crazy. People standing there with their hands behind their back and them getting slapped in their. Come on, this is stupid. Uh, That's not a sport. That's dangerous. That's very, very dangerous. All they can do is stiffen their neck or whatever. Oh, come on, man. This is absolutely stupid. I mean, I guess you might have some crazy conspiracies saying, a little bit of promotion. Dana White slaps his wife on New Year's Eve in, Mexico. He's got the Power Slap League coming out. No, there's no such thing as bad marketing, as they say. This is absolutely ridiculous. The 53-year-old Dana White has been married to his wife since 1996. Hmm? They've been together for a long time. And again, this didn't seem like a one-off. I mean, that's dysfunction. That's absolutely dysfunctional for people to be conducted. Maybe, oh, behind closed doors. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So we can only speculate. But to be out in public and to assault your husband and then your husband to do what he does in the position that he's in, and just be no comments from the owners. From ESPN, who indeed broadcast said content of the UFC. Hmm. And also just go onto the old, search engine, Yahoo, uh, Bing, and just type in Dana White slaps wife, and where are the look at depending on what country you are, you know, where are all the articles? Where's the Daily Mail articles? Like Kyrie Irving was all over the something there. Uh, Jov okay, let's get into it. We're current now. We're current. Gervonta Davis was arrested on domestic abuse charges. He's got a fight coming up real soon. Hmm. We also have a veteran of the UFC from way back in the day, Mr. Phil Baroni, who has been arrested again in Mexico. It seems like these Americans go to Mexico and just get buck, get wild, and it has been alleged, yeah, that he has battered his partner to death. Yeah, death. No more on this plane of existence. Okay. And everyone has put this out. I mean, to be fair, I don't think the Phil Baroni, because he's not, I guess, current of sorts. This hasn't been major news, but it's definitely been reported on. There's an issue. There is an issue, a big issue with domestic violence, full stop. But when we put the microscope on it, athletes and fighters are still people. They still have relationships, yeah. So th- they're getting concussive blows to their head on a regular basis. For our entertainment and for them to financially get paid for this year. So if normal people are having these domestic violence spats, what do you think? Don't you think that's going to be amplified? And then also, let's not forget the big. I don't even know what color these drugs come into, but you've got athletes taking performance enhancing drugs. Huh? Have we not heard? I mean, it's not spoken about so much. Roid rage. Oh, ooh. Do you remember that term? Roid rage. We've got all these different combinations of stuff going on, and we've got no kind of accountability. No accountability whatsoever. We have a little cover up going on. We have a very lack of newspapers, mainstream newspapers saying Dana White slaps his wife, blah 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 blah. These are the facts. This is what's happened. And based upon how the media, mainstream media does it, puts their spin on it, either to justify it or to vilify the person. You go type it in now. Yeah, open up another window, just type in all of these athletes and their discrepancies and their crazy stuff that they're doing, and look what's put up there. And let's put the scales up to balance this stuff out, mate. We see it all pull out there. It's all in your face. But for Dana White, oh no, no, let's keep on the hush. Let's not say nothing. Let's not do nothing. The Power Slap League, like we're still gonna promote that on the old social medias, because everyone's talking about Dana White and slapping. Maybe we can get some cross-fertilization in regards to eyes on our new crazy, stupid product that we're putting out. And the Turner Broadcasting, TBS, is it Turner Broadcasting Services? I don't know what the hell. Yeah. They have now postponed the premiere of said content. Okay. I think they've delayed it for 2 weeks or something like that. But ultimately, I mean, what do you think about this? We've had, strangely enough, Sean O'Malley. He's the main person, I think. I probably even Patty or Paddy, let's say. Paddy the Baddy. Because he's like all up on Mr. Dana White, no. I think indeed, I can't confirm. I know Mr. O'Malley has said, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with this here, man. Dana White was just, there's nothing wrong with what he did. He was just defending himself basically, and it's his woman, it's his wife. So, what's the big deal? Yeah, all these little, hey, please, sir, can I have some more? This Oliver Twist beggy bowl thing. Yeah, I mean, let's get down with the boss, even though, look, these people are supposed to be independent contractors, right? They're not employees because they don't receive any benefits. There's no benefits. They're independent contractors, so they should be free to say whatever they want. Now, within reason, clearly, because you don't want to rock the said boat, so you can't come out too hard, but that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable for anybody to be doing that. Yeah. Especially for a woman to be instigating it. Let's drive this point home. Women, I know it's 2023, the Gregorian year. I know this feminist thing and women empowerment is all over this year, but come on, man. Oh, come on, women. This is silly. You cannot be putting yourself in situations where where a gentleman will of course not slap back at a woman. Yeah, especially his wife. He will restrain her, but you have a different kind of thing now where, it's equality. It's equality. So a woman can punch a man in his face and, you know, if she gets punched in her face back, I guess that's equality. That's being treated equal. We need to stop this, man. Really need to stop this. Does Dana White need to be fired? I don't think those actions or that situation warrant such a harsh response. I do think, as people have pointed out, he needs to be fined. There needs to be some financial because let's look at it. You're working for a company. You're working for a FTSE 150, FTSE 100 company, yeah? And you're out, forget what position. Let's not even go into those detail, yeah? And you're out with your work colleagues at a work function. And you're having it off with Sally in the damn post room. And Sally gets a bit drunk and belligerent and smacks you in the face and starts saying how she wants to talk the thing and you gotta leave your wife or whatever. And something, and it blows up in this establishment. And you're representing the company at that point, even though it's outside of business hours. You're with work colleagues. Hmm. That's an untenable situation to be in. That is a point where the company says you have put our company into disrepute by your actions. You cannot go out on a work's due, quote unquote, and get buck and get wild and do the things you've done. You are fired. You got to go. Okay. Now let's extrapolate this a little bit further. You are again at this FTSE 250 company, and you're seen out and about boxing up your wife. Hmm? And this is all over social media. and you're a somewhat of a face, but you're known, and and people know that, oh, that's Jerry from Barclays Bank. What is he doing beating up his wife? And it's all in the papers because, what do you think Barclays Bank is going to do? They're going to make a statement. Of course, they're going to make it. We condemn this. We're not down with domestic violence, spousal abuse. That is totally wrong. And we've fired my youth. He's not in this thing no more. Huh? But the UFC, we haven't got no comment. Dana's already said it. There needs to be. Now, I've mentioned in my examples all of people getting fired. Does he need to be fired? It's down to the company. He needs to be fined. They're fining people, they're fining their independent contractors based upon their code of conduct, which has been recently updated to include the not able to bet on fights. hmm There is consequences. You if you smoke, well, the marijuana thing is all different now, but if you're smoking weed pre or after, and your tests come back, they're finding that the independent contractors slash prize fighters, 20,000, whatever, all kind of different money that they're levying. But yet Dana White can do this, put the whole of the UFC in distribute. There's no fines. We see we're talking 3 days, and I waited specifically this long because I wanted to see what comes out. Endeavor ain't said none. Airy of Endeavor. Endeavor himself ain't said none. ESPN ain't said none. Yeah, USC haven't said nothing. Luke Thomas has said something. Dan Lepetard, he said something. Former ESPN dude. Of course, Ariel Hawani has said something and has gone into, obviously, he has a bit more personal stakes in this. Yeah. What will your kids think of? What are they going to think of you, Mr. Dana White, for doing the things that you've done to your wife publicly? Not that you've come home and your parents are rowing and you see this stuff. Oh, dad, yo, what's going on? No, 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 no. They're getting WhatsApp messages and DMs and all kind of stuff with footage with TMZ printed all over it of the mother. She seemed very upset, man. You know. As I say, there's been all kind of allegations with Mr. White sleeping with ring girls and this and that and all kind of something there, yeah? Hmm? What happened? Was she like, look, we're down in Mexico, we're supposed to be seeing in the new year. Now, this is me just like hypothesizing, and you're just there spending all this time with these damn Mexican women and these little shorties and stuff. What about spending some time with me, man? And she just, yeah, give him one. And rather than Dana just holding her, and again, I will say that it wasn't hard. It didn't look hard to me. And then the subsequent, I don't even know if she was on the floor or what. I don't even know what happened. But it ain't a good look. It's a terrible look. The UFC have got two black eyes and their nose is running with blood at the moment. And there's a makeup artist profusely trying to wipe the blood away and dab the damn makeup back on there. Yeah. They can't do nothing about the black eyes. What will take place? How will this unfold? What are your thoughts? Do you think indeed he needs to be sat down? Does he need to be fired? How harsh indeed should be the punishment for abusing your wife, um, for hitting your wife, for putting the company into disrepute? Something needs to happen. 100%. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Do give me your thoughts.